So you've been using your planner for a while now and it's getting, well, a little bit boring. Your spreads look basically the same each week. You tend to use the same colors and types of stickers, and planning has become a bit mundane and boring. If any of this sounds familiar, we're going to talk about some ways that you can mix it up. So let's get into it. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Marquita from AtHomeWithQuita, and here I share tips on how to plan a balanced life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So we're gonna get into some ways that you can mix up planning if you feel like it's getting a little boring, okay? Now that is totally me from time to time. Every now and then I'm like, get somebody else to do it, okay? I don't want to plan because I just feel like it's the same thing every single week and I need to spice it up a little bit. And I think that's kind of why I have been neglecting being here with you beautiful people on my channel and showcasing different things about planning that I love and showing you my spreads and talking you through things. That's why, because things had got boring. And so I had to mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to share with you some things that have helped me. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it with the first thing. And I know this is going to be hard, especially if you're anything like me, but I would definitely say to try a no sticker week. Okay. I know we love all the things, all the stickers, hence why you see the spread that you do with all the beautiful stickers here. It's just a thing, right? We love to use the stickers, but again, we're talking about things getting boring. So if it's gotten boring, stickers are not working for you right now, okay? So switch it up. So maybe one week you'll do a sticker week and maybe the next week you won't. And that is totally okay. So you can draw things out to make it look cute, or you can simply just write in whatever that week has, whatever appointments, things like that. You can totally just write in your plans. Or if you want to make it decorative, you can maybe add some bullet points. Okay, you can maybe draw a little line here with some arrows to just kind of point to things for that day of the week. You can even make what looks like washi tape by just drawing in a pattern. So that way you can again add a little bit of flavor to your planner, but you are not wanting to plan with all the stickers, or you're just trying to switch it up to see if it could spark something within you to help you to keep going on this journey, because a planner is not just there to look pretty. Of course, we want to make sure that we're using our planner so it can help us. So there are so many different ways you can still decorate your planner and it still will look good and still spark that creativity within you, but it doesn't have to be with using stickers. It can just be patterns. It can be, just drawing some things out or not drawing anything again, just using your pen to paper, and that's okay too. So just do what works for you, but try something different and see how that looks for you. Okay, I don't typically do a lot of drawing just because I don't feel like I'm the best at it. So you might be different from me, and I say go for it. Okay, again, we're trying to switch things up just a little bit so that planning doesn't become so boring. And again, or you also may feel like it's too much with using all the stickers. So you may want to kind of dumb it down a little bit, if you will, and just try some different methods and see how that may work for you. So there's so many different ways. This is kind of a Bujo style of planning with all of the decorative elements, but just using your pen. But there's also, you could add color and still have a little flair to your planning, even though you're just writing in your plans. So remember, you can still decorate your planner without using stickers. And you can even use washi tape, highlighters, or color pens. So don't underestimate what you can do with a black pen or different types of lines just scribbled in your planner. There's still lots of options here. So switch it up and try just not using a lick of stickers for that week and see how you feel about it. Number 2 is to try color coding. I do implement color coding every now and then, and it does work for me. It just seems like it's a lot of thinking because you want to have a color code key. So these are our journaling cards from the shop that I love. And these will help you to be able to create a color code key. So you want to pick some categories that work for you. So I'll go ahead and write in a few that work for me. So that would be events, and then household, and then maybe family. Okay, fitness, work, and hopefully you can see that. Let me zoom you in. Okay, maybe spiritual. All right, how about school? If you have school age kids, or even you yourself might be in school, to-do list, and personal. Can't forget personal. Okay, and then you want to choose some colors. All right, so I only have 5 colors here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, hold on. Let's recount that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 categories. So let me grab some different highlighters. These highlighters are gorgeous. They're from our shop. I love these. Look at the pastel vibes. I really wanted to use them, but I'm gonna grab some different because I need 9 colors. All right, and I've got a ton of different highlighters and pens. And remember, this is your key. So you wanna make sure that you're using the colors that you feel would work best for you, because you're going to be using these every single week. All right. And then with these, you just highlight where you put the word. And then this is going to be your key. And this can really help to change things up with your planning system too. And there's also a functional purpose to it too, because, you know, color coding can tend to make your planner look less messy. It looks super organized. You look like you got it together, okay? And you probably will. There are certain type of people I feel like do very well with color code planning, and then some people that just don't. It just is not their thing. But I think everybody should at least try it to see if it is something that could work for you. All right, remember when you are doing this is to set those colors to the side, because you want to make sure that you can remember. You don't have to rummage through to try to find out where those colors are that you just used or that you plan on using to do your color coding. All right, and I want to make sure I have lots of different types of colors so that it makes things look really, really good. And it's so simple. All right, let me make sure I covered all bases. I have a green, let's do this, because I have a gray, and boom. All right, and then I have all of my colors right here. All right, so I know what I'm using. I could put the rest of these away so they stay out of my way. All right, so I know for a lot of people that color coding is just a must for them. Again, I use it or do it every now and again, to add flavor to my planning. So I think you should try it out if this is you. Remember, we're talking about, hey, I'm bored. What can I do? And remember not to choose too many planning categories. I have 9. I recommend 3 to 5, but I'm a little bit extra, so we're gonna stick with 9, okay? And then also you could use sticky notes instead of the pens if you want it, and then just write on the sticky note, and that could serve as color coding as well. You don't have to color code by category. Also, if you don't want to, you can color code by day of the week or priority of importance. So don't feel like you have to color code by categories like this. Okay, so I have my key here, so I know what I'm doing. And then you just simply take that key and you would come over to your weekly spread. Don't y'all like how I'm showing y'all too? I think this is kind of what I was missing on my channel. You know what I mean? Just to kind of get back to basics of showing you guys exactly how to do certain things that have helped me. Okay, so let me just write in a couple of things. So if I have, let's say I have a wedding to go to, so you would do that. And you could do a couple of different things. So events are brown. So I could either take this and I could just underline it. Okay, or, well, I'm not gonna underline it, or I could highlight it just like you regularly would, or I could put a little dot here. I could put an arrow. I have options, okay? And then let's say I need to clean the garage, which is considered household. All right, that's gray. So then I do the same thing. I would come here, highlight it, maybe put a bullet point there. Just depends, because sometimes I don't like covering over the word. I feel like it's sometimes hard to see. All right, let's say Addison has tennis practice. Okay, so let me underline this. So consider that as well, because you want it to look good and you want to make sure you could see exactly what it's saying. Okay, let's say I want to go to the gym that day. All right, so I think you're kind of getting the gist of it, right? And then I would do that. And then let's say I have a conference call for work. All right, you see how cool it is to color code things? It just really helps you to be able to identify those important things. It makes things stand out, especially once you get really familiar with your colors. Okay, let's see, for spiritual, I have my meeting. Okay. And that is green. So we'll do a little dot for that. So color coding is really just a cool way to mix it up. So let's say Addison has a test at school, and it's so helpful. And it just sometimes gives you that switch up that you need. And then you may find that, you know what, I really like this. This is really helping me, because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to help, you know? So let's say I want to do a facial for my personal. All right. And we'll put a dot for that. So that is the gist of color coding. You want to make your key. All right. And then you want to write out all of the things that those colors represent. Remember, you don't have to do 9. You can do whatever you want. And then you just want to simply start planning. Of course, everything wouldn't be in the same day of the week. It will be on different days of the week. You can even do this with your monthly calendar. And this is just such a great switch up. And sometimes this is all you need to say, hey, okay, let me pick up my planner today and keep using it. And that's the goal here. That's the ultimate goal. And sometimes you just have to change something in order to keep pushing forward. All right, so that is the next thing that you could do to really freshen things up. Okay, next up is that you can try a completely different planning system. So maybe you put together a planner kind of similar to this, or however you put it together, or you bought a planner and it's just not working for you. Scratch it. Okay, come back to it later. Maybe right now is not the season for that type of planner. Okay, you may just need to try a completely different type of system. So maybe it also isn't a paper planner. Maybe it's reminders on your phone. Maybe it's bullet journaling. Maybe you just simply need something like this, the monthly calendar. You don't need all of those weekly pages. So try different systems to see which one is going to work for you, of course. And then if you're at that moment where you're saying, you know what, something's got to change. This is just not making me want to use my planner. Then scratch it all together and try a different type of system. Okay. All right. Number 4 is that you can try a digital planner. Now, your girl is not a digital girl. Let me just put that out there. I have tried, and every now and then I do go back to it just to say, hey, did I really give it its fair chance? Or did I just try to use it and I said no without giving it a full effort? There are so many different digital planners. It used to be really hard to find digital planners. You would have a couple of companies on Etsy that had digital planners, but now a lot of different companies have digital planners and they're really pretty. Now, this is just an example because most digital planners, they have tabs here on the side and you can toggle between those tabs to get to the various sections. And I'm trying to see if I have one in here that I could show you. So let's say, I think I might have one, right? Or maybe I don't. No, I don't think I do. So these are just inserts that I added in here because I was working on a digital planner, believe it or not, but it is difficult and I just don't have the bandwidth and the time right now to really do it the way I want. So I did go in here and add some stickers. So all these, back up. All these are different elements that you can move around, and there's a way that you're supposed to work within this system. And I find it's just too much until you really get the hang of it. So I didn't really give it the full chance that it probably deserved. But you'd have your pin here. Again, I don't recall how, I don't recall how I put these stickers in here. But you can move them around and you can do different things. These stickers are from Fancy Plants Co. You're going to add it as an image in your library, and then you're going to import it in like so. I don't think I have a photo here to import in, but let's say this was a sticker. See, it import into your planner, and then you can move it around wherever you wanted to. Let's say this was a memory planner, then of course that sort of image would work, or photos, things like that. Digital planning is cool for that because it gives you more flexibility, and you can also add lots more decorative elements. And then you just take your pen and you write out, groceries or whatever. And I find that it's best to have some sort of protector. My protector isn't a true protector because it's not going to protect it from shattering or breaking, anything like that, but it's called paper-like. So listen, this is why it's called that. It sounds like paper, right? So that's really cool because sometimes I feel like the iPad feels like the surface is too flat. So when you have something like this, which I'll try and link below, it helps because then it gives you that feel of paper. You know what I mean? So you hear the sound of it, but then it also feels like you're writing on paper. So I would definitely use some sort of app like GoodNotes. I love GoodNotes. You could also try maybe like Trello or Notion. I love Notion. If you don't want this sort of system where you're writing in, there's also other systems like, again, like Notion is my favorite, but I use it for something very specific. But it's not the type of system where you're going to come in and write in your plans. You're going to come in here. This is where I plan all of my content, by the way. I have a full video on how I use Notion, but you'd basically come here and you'd add your different elements. So you'd be typing it in, and then you type it in all of the fields, whatever information, and you can customize all these fields. So this is another way that you could digital plan, also like Microsoft Word, Excel. I think there's an app called Wanderlust that you could use. So there's so many different options. Also, you could just use the Notes and Reminders app on your phone or iPad, okay? You don't have to get all fancy with it. But digital planning is cool. Again, there's lots of people who do digital planning, so search on YouTube because that's not me. Okay, I think you guys know that I prefer paper planning, but if you're getting bored, and sometimes when I get bored, I do try it out just to see, hey, maybe it may work for me now, and I may use it for a week or two, but I always come back to this, okay? All right, so digital planning, there you go. Number 5 is that you can go on YouTube, and there are so many numerous of people and planner people and videos that you can watch that is going to give you inspiration. So if you're bored with your planner, it may be the time to do a little research on YouTube to see who you can get a little bit of inspiration from. So you can find anything from planner reviews to sticker hauls to pin reviews to DIY ideas to video on time management. Of course, I have a plethora of planner videos here on my channel that you can look at to see or gather some inspiration for your planner spreads and just life in general, and how to keep things organized within your life, and what you can do to make your planner system better and customize it to your needs. Okay, so I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't. You see my shameless plug there? So make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. All right, number 6 is to use a one-page weekly planner. Okay, so what I mean by that, I'll show you. This is 2. Okay, this is 2 pages. All right, this is 2 pages. This is my work planner, 1, 2. So this is a week on 2. All right, and technically this is kind of a week on 1, the dashboard layout, because all of your weekly is here, but then you still have this other side, which could kind of be overwhelming. Sometimes it is just too much going on. You need to dumb it down a little bit, especially if you're just starting out. So try maybe to use a 1-page weekly planner. If you're bored with your planner because you always have a lot of white space and you never know what to do with that white space, then a 1-page may be a better fit for you. And then also, if your planner ends up looking like a jumbled mess, which is how I feel like my planner used to look at the beginning of my journey, and you doing too much, okay, then you may also want to try that 1-page spread. All right, so I'm going to show you kind of how that looks. I keep a planner here for inspiration. That's also a good idea. If you know that you had a really good week and you planned out really, really well, keep it. All right, that way you can go back and revisit it, and you can say, hey, you know what? Let me try that spread again. I was really inspired that week, so we're going to recreate that. Okay, so these aren't examples of 1-page spreads, but I'm just doing a little flip through action for y'all, okay? Okay, so this is what I mean when I say week on 1. All right, I know it's here somewhere. Okay, here we go. And as you can see, I did give it a good go. I really tried to see if it would work for me, and it did work for me at that time. And then I switched it up, okay? Because that's what we're talking about here. All right, so this is a monthly, of course, because you still, I think, need your monthly spread. Look at how gorgeous that is. Okay, and then week on one. Bam. So that means this week is its own week. So we've got the priorities, the tasks to buy, and then you have your weekly here, Monday through Sunday. You've got a little spot for notes, and then you're done. All right. And then the next page here is the next week, and so on and so forth. So you see how that works? So it's less overwhelming because you have everything all on one page, but you still have more than enough room to plan for the things that you need to plan for. All right. You still have room for stickers if you choose to do stickers. It's just an awesome layout, in my opinion. See, that's how it looks blank. So it's just everything all on one page. And it can be so helpful to plan this way. So as opposed to having a week here and a week here, like half the week here, half the week here, you have everything, boom, all in front of you. So when you turn to this page, this is it for that week. When you turn to this page, that's it. So when you flip it back, that's all you got. And that's all you need, okay? So you can see the benefits of having on one page, and it may be something you want to try to see if that works for you. All right, so that's how that looks. So I definitely wanted to give you a little bit of inspiration on what exactly I mean when I say a week on one, and then you can kind of see if maybe it's something that may work for you. Maybe it's not even that you're bored. Maybe it's just that, you know, your current weekly spread is just not working for you and you need to try something new. All right, so try that and see if that works for you. And then you can also try a bigger size, and that allows for more room, especially if you feel like there's not enough space here. With that week on one, you know, you are very limited in the amount of space that you have. All right, so next is to use a printable. Now, y'all know we have a ton of printables in the shop. I love printables because you could either design one yourself. I do design, of course, because I have a shop here. And so a software that I really love to use to design inserts is actually Silhouette Studio. It's a free software. It's very easy to use, and you can go in and you can add all the different elements, and then you can render it as a PDF form and then print it. But if you prefer not to do it yourself, you can find plenty of printables online these days. Again, we have some in the shop. It's much cheaper to print a printable. You can also experiment with different layouts. As opposed to buying something online, waiting for it to be shipped, paying for shipping and all that stuff. It's just super cheap to do it yourself and to print it yourself, even if you're not designing it. And also one of the reasons why I love printables is that you can create a design once and you can continue tweaking it as your needs change. So if you need more, just print more. Okay, you don't have to go buy another planner, which might have pages you don't need. And if you buy a printable rather than making it yourself, they're only a few dollars. So if the layout doesn't work, you haven't lost much money, okay? And if you do like the printable, you can print it multiple times, of course, and just take it to your local office supply store and have them bind it into a planner for you, all right? So there's so many options when it comes to printables, so don't sleep on the printables, okay? Also, you can use sticky notes. Sticky notes are my best friend. I love sticky notes, and I like using them in different ways. So if you can see here, I put them on each day of the week in my business planner to indicate a short form video that I'm doing. Use them in my business planner. I love using them here. Sometimes I'll use them for decor. So I may pop in one here, I may cut it in half, pop it in there. As you can see, I just love adding sticky notes. Of course, you can write on them. That's the main purpose of them, or you can use them as decorative elements as well. And that may help to spruce things up a little bit too. So sticky notes allow for more flexibility with planning. And one of the reasons you may be bored with your planners is because you're having to rewrite a lot of the same routine tasks over and over again. So that's kind of why they developed the task cards. Do you guys remember the task cards? I believe I have them here somewhere in my planner. I may not have them in my planner, but I know you guys remember the task cards where the sticky notes would have little things already pre-printed on them, and then you would take it and put it in your planner and then remove it when you were done with it. A lot of people still use that method. It's pretty genius, And so that's another way that you can avoid having to rewrite things over and over again, because that may be why you're bored. With sticky notes, you can write it once and then again move it from week to week. And then especially if you're pre-planning, so you can use them on your monthly spread, and then once you've written everything in permanently, then you can go ahead and just move it to the next month. So that way you're pre-planning with the same thing, especially if things don't really change for you. Okay, so you write it once and move it around. You can use a Post-it note, 3M brand. They're super sticky and usually last a couple of weeks before you have to rewrite the tasks out again. So, and sticky notes are also great for meal planning. I love meal planning, especially if you like to rotate with cooking the same meal. So again, don't overlook sticky notes. They can serve as decorative elements or they can serve as functional elements. Okay. Another thing that you could do is change that cover. Y'all know me. I'm always changing my cover. This is a cover from our shop, from a new collection that we have, y'all. My mind is going blank right now. It's an abstract collection. So these are available. We're going to start to add some custom options as well by popular demand. As you can see, my planner is really chunky. So sometimes I'll alternate between these type of covers, which are the laminated covers. I also will go something like this, which is our other type of cover. We have these in multiple colors. These are plastic poly covers. I also will go with our leather covers. Y'all know we got a ton of leather covers and multiple different colors and patterns. So sometimes it's just as simple as changing the cover. Now with certain planners, you're not going to be able to change your cover, of course, because if it's bound, coil bound, then you're just not going to be able to do that. But disc bound planners are so easy to be able to just pull that cover off just like that and then add on a new cover, or just simply take this and slip it into a leather cover. So it's really, really easy when you have this sort of system, because you're literally just saying, okay, boom, you can change this and you can change this. All right. So you may say, hey, let me pull this off. Let me put a new one on, and then let me just stick it right on in the planner cover. Boom, you have a completely different look, right? Okay, so same with like something like this. You may say, hey, it's summertime. Let me switch out my summer setup. Okay, and then you'll do something like this, and you'll take that and you just slide it right on in to the back of the planner. And it looks beautiful because this matches with the front cover. Okay, and everything is all right in the world. Okay, so you've got a new cover to make you feel good. Okay, I think this is the wrong size. And it just gives you a completely different look and feel. And now it has sparked something within you to keep moving forward on your planner journey. And that's what we want. So just switch out the cover. It could just be that, and then you're done. You don't have to go through all of the motions of everything else I'm going to talk about in this video. Try that first. And then come back to these other things if that's still not working for you. Okay. Next up is, this is important, y'all. Some of y'all are guilty of writing mundane, random things in your planner. So if you're bored or you're rewriting the same tasks, you can use an insert. And you can just pop that in. You can you can create an insert and then laminate it, okay? And then keep that in there. You could use a whiteboard with a marker, okay? Because sometimes that's what I'll do. So we have also whiteboard inserts in our shop. So sometimes I'll just take a whiteboard. It's printed on 10 mil vellum, or not vellum, rather lamination paper. And sometimes I'll just pop in the whiteboard just like that. We have all different sizes from half sheets to full pages. And then I keep a permanent marker here in my planner, so I could just come here and I could write what I want. So I could just write just something random. Okay, give it a couple of seconds. I also like using a Sharpie on this because I feel like a Sharpie works completely perfect. This is the Pilot permanent marker. Okay. And then it won't smudge. So that way, when it's shuffling around in your planner, around different papers, it's not gonna come off, all right? So don't sleep on whiteboard inserts. We love whiteboard inserts. And that way you're not just writing the same old mundane, boring thing. So laminate a checklist printable, and then you can tick off again with your whiteboard. This hack really works well with the disc bound system because, again, other systems don't allow for things to be removed and added. And so take that into consideration. And so I love that. And then also like habit trackers. Those are things that, like for me, I'm writing it out every single week. All right. If you don't want to do that, then I suggest writing it somewhere and then maybe laminating it, or printing it out somewhere, laminating it, buying an insert and laminating it. And that way you always have it and you can pop it in week to week. In order to remove the permanent marker from the whiteboard, you just use any alcohol-based product and it's going to rub right off. And then you have it to reuse again. And it's such a time saver. So stop writing just random mundane things in your planner over and over again. It's going to get tiresome. Like, writing this every single week is exhausting. I still continue to do it though, because I love to write. Just the habit of writing, or just the act of writing, I really love. But you know, if you think about it, that can make a person feel like, hey, you know what? I'm tired. I don't want to use my planner anymore because I got to keep writing the same old stuff over and over again. I just want to write what I'm doing for that week. I say yes. I vote yes. Okay. But in order to do that, you still want to be able to track those things like habits and cleaning and all of that. And so another way to do that is to just create something with it on it and then laminate it, or purchase a vellum that already has that on it and then pop it in just like this. Something like this is great to have. There's a lot of reference things in my planner. So I have this 100 things to track in your planner. I don't want to have to write this. You know, not that I would write it every week, but I'm just saying something, this is kind of along similar lines, not completely the same. But things like this, you could just get it printed on a vellum and then you could just keep it popped in your planner for reference. Okay. And so try that and see if that works for you. Even this little card here, this is like a little spiritual routine for me. I don't want to have to write this out every single week. I want to just keep it here so that way I can refer to it. Does that make sense? I think it does. All right. So next up is that you want to keep track of different things. So there's so many things that you can track in your planner, from, again, exercise, vitamins, water intake, cleaning routines, spending habits, you name it. Okay. So maybe try adding some sort of journaling section that has like a favorite memory, milestone, or maybe like an inspirational quote in it. And maybe that will help you to try to mix things up as well. So sometimes I'll pop a little quote here at the bottom just to give me a little bit of inspiration, to just help me to see a different look in my planner. And that has been super helpful. So sometimes I'll do that from time to time too. So just keep track of everything and use different types of planning methods and different types of planning to keep things alive for you. Okay. So popping in a photo, doing memory planning, meal planning, all of that stuff really helps to keep things fresh. All right. Next, you want to make use of all the pages in your planner if things are getting boring. All right. So, you know, different spreads or different planners have different layouts, of course. Also, different planners have different things built in their planner system. So you may see a notes page at the end of the month. You may see a currently page at the end of the month. The sky's the limit. It's just all depending on that company's planner. So try to utilize all of the pages. Okay. I mean, how many times have you purchased a planner and it included a bunch of pages that you don't think you'll ever use? Maybe contact pages, and you're just not really sure why some of the companies continue to include some of those pages, especially like a contacts page when everybody has everything in their phone. Okay. So if you have pages like that, you could also repurpose them to something like a tracker or like a to-do list, or just maybe extra note pages. Otherwise, I say tear them out. I say pull them bad boys out and toss them and get rid of them. Make your planner less bulky and less overwhelming, because you're not going to use them. You want to keep things in your planner you're going to use. If you're not going to use them, get them out of there. Okay. Try to see if you can use them first. If you can't use them, then toss them. Okay. All right. So we are winding things down, y'all. I next say use different pens. I'm definitely a pen girl. Okay, as you may have picked up on right now, I have a slight pen addiction. So I like to stay loyal to one planner, Fancy Plans Co., but I totally do not stay loyal to pens. I have a lot of different pens that I like. I also have a lot of different pens, or there are pens that I will try. I'll give pens at least one try. And then after that, if I see that it's not working, I'm not using it anymore. So I'm digging in my drawer right now to pull out all of my pens, and you can see, and this isn't all of my, just say that this is just some of my pens, but these are the ones that I keep in my office. So I wouldn't say I'm a pen snob. I kind of am, but when I think of a pen snob, I think of like, you're not really, you like a specific type of pen and you don't deviate from that. it's not that I like a specific type of pen. It just has to write a specific way for me. Does that make sense, y'all? So, and I know immediately if I'm gonna like a pen or not. So let me see. I'm gonna grab something out, a piece of paper out, and I'm gonna see how I feel about some of these pens. So, oh, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to write because I created this little section here so that I could show you guys the different things on the layout. So we'll just flip back to that. Okay, so let's test these out. Now, this is an OG pen, the Papermate Inkjoy Gel pen. I think everybody needs to have these in their planner collection. Okay, so I like this pen, and it comes in different, like this one's I think 0.5. I can tell immediately this is the 0.5. They have a 0.72, which I think I like a little bit better. So this is the Inkjoy. Yeah, because I like my writing to be a little bit more bold. Okay, and then another pen that I really love besides these pens right here. These are my all-time favorites. Okay, let me just say that. Okay, and I think when I show you, you'll be able to understand why. But I love these pens, and I'm moody, so bam. But it just all depends on how I'm feeling for that week. So I may want to use these, I may not want to use these. It just depends on how I feel, y'all. So right now I'm using the Muji pen in 0.7. This is an OG pen for me. I love this pen. So this is the Muji, and they have them in various thicknesses. Don't you see how nice that is? So I love a Muji. All right, besides these are my favorite, okay? And then I also love this Muji pen here. And then I love that it's beautiful, you know, and neutral. And it has the clicker. So this is another Muji pen that I love. It's just that the ink is a little more fine. Okay, if you want to go bold, these Uniball Airs, by the way, all of these pens are in our shop, so just know that. I love the Uniball, so let me show you why. Okay, look at how the tip of that is. It's just very different. You see how that looks? I hope you can see. I think you can see. It's very different, so it writes different from anything I've ever experienced. But that's the Uniball Air. Okay, another favorite of mine is the Sharpie Rollerball. I'm sorry, Sharpie Roller. And this is in 0.7. See? I love that. When I want a little bit more of a bold ink. So pens have different personalities, y'all. And sometimes that's just what you need. This is one of my all-time favorites, which is the Papermate Flare. And this is great also for if you want a bold look. Okay. So sometimes you just need to explore with different pens. Do a quick pen test and see how you feel about different pens. This is the Bic Velocity, which is awesome. So, and some of them are more smooth. It's just, there's so many different pens that you gotta try them out just to see which one is gonna work for you. And then you're still gonna switch. This is the Swarovski R in 0.5. Oh, this one is so nice. Yeah, you're gonna still switch it up depending on how you feel. Okay, so that's just to name a few pens. I just did a pen test on 8 pens. And this doesn't even scratch the surface of what I have and what I like. I'm just sharing with you kind of like my top ones. But I definitely would say to just try to pick some different pens and see how they work for you. All right. So lastly, Frixon pens. If you have never used Frixon pens, I'm not going to pull them out. They're awesome because they're erasable. So if you make a lot of mistakes, also if you want to color code, try those out. It's definitely really, really neat how they work. All right. Another tip is to utilize notes pages. So the notes pages are just an empty canvas, okay? So put some lines on it, create a list, create a custom layout, make columns for spinning trackers, split the pages in 2 for list making, jot down movie ideas. The sky's the limit, y'all. But the notes pages typically come included in the back of the planner, for us at least. And then also you could just take a blank notebook and just use the notebook and just use it as a blank canvas and create whatever you want. All right. Next up is to try a different binding style. Now, I cannot say this enough, is that When I first started planning, I was using another planner that had a binding style that didn't work well with me. It was a coil binding style, and I loved that planner company, but I felt like the coil just got in my way too much. I would bump up against it and I couldn't quite get right where I needed to write. And sometimes that does happen with this planner, but the beautiful part about this planner is that I could just take the page out like that, put it right here and go to town. Whereas with a planner like that, it really obstructs you from being able to write right here like you need to. Also, those planners that have the hardbound planners, it was a no for me because it would never open flat. And I like to be able to write flat just like this. And sometimes I also like to do like that. And I may want to write like that. And you can't do that with a bound planner like that. So consider the binding style. I personally love disc bound planners. But if you're someone that typically uses coil, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying to consider some things. There's so many different companies out there that you could buy a coil planner from, and it may work for you. It's just that for me, there's so many different things about it that didn't work, as well as the binding on like a hardbound planner that just didn't work for me. But you do you, and you try it out, see if that's the switch up that you need. If you're coming from disc bound into that sort of system, maybe this didn't work for you and that will work for you, or maybe this will work for you and that won't work for you. You just gotta test things out to see what's gonna work. I said work a bunch of times, but I think you get the gist of it. Okay, you can also use theme sticker kits. Now, I don't tend to use theme sticker kits. I like to use just random sticker sheets, sticker books, and mix and match. But every now and then I'll use a theme sticker kit. Now this is kind of along the lines of that. This is what's called our boxes and icons. So it comes with lots of different icons and then boxes, because we all love boxes, right? But there's so many different companies on Etsy and all over the internet that have themed kits that may have like 5 or 6 pages that you could take that kit and you can use that to plan your whole entire week, maybe even multiple weeks, maybe even your monthly spread. And that sometimes gives you that inspiration to keep you going and make it to where you're not bored. So theme kits are super easy. They make planning really quick. And with all the stickers, it has all the stickers that you need on just maybe, again, like 3, 4, 5 sheets. So it means less mess and quicker planning. And that's what we all want. So try to use a theme sticker kit. And they seem to be very reasonable as well. And see if that's the switch up you need. All right. Okay, next is to take stuff out and use 2 planners. Now, I used to be a super huge advocate for multiple planners, but now I feel like I just want one, like this planner. I did a flip through. I always do flip throughs. I try to keep it updated so that you can see what I'm currently doing, but this has everything I need in it. So I have my home section, my finances. I have my fitness section, my faith section. I've got a personal section. I've got my routines. Everything is all in one planner, but maybe you're bored with your planner because it's too cluttered. I don't feel like this is really cluttered, but yours might be too cluttered and you can't find anything. Okay. Especially if you don't have divider tabs there. So if that's you and you feel like that's, that speaks to you and that's something that, bothers you, there are more than one planner these days with 1-page weekly layouts, notes pages, different layouts for tasks, brain dumping. If you want to include budgeting and cleaning, you can do that in multiple planners. Okay. You could choose maybe to have a home planner and then a personal planner. You could have a work planner and a personal planner. You could have as many planners as you want. Sometimes having things all in one planner is just not working for you. And that's okay. All right. So you may need to split things out in multiple planners. Now you do have to read or know how to manage that because it is a whole thing. Okay. Let me just say that. To have to lug around 5 planners is a lot. So that's why I put everything all in one planner. But again, maybe this is where you are and this isn't working for you. Okay. So you need to change that. And so try splitting things out into multiple different planners and see how that works for you. Okay. Next up is to change the planner layout. I'm a big, super huge advocate for that. And I like to try different layouts in my planner. So for instance, in my weekly spread, my regular weekly spread, I use what's called the dashboard layout. That's what this is. So I have all of my calendar stuff on this side. I put my meal planning stuff here. So anything we're eating for the week. And then over here, I like to put my cleaning tasks, my habits, my bills, meeting and ministry. And then at the bottom is like a free-for-all section where I use to just write random things. I might pop in a quote. Okay. And then when it gets to my work section, I like to use our new vertical week on 2. It has Monday through Thursday here instead of Monday through Wednesday. The notes has been moved here, and then you got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so I think also it keeps things fresh when I do that. Like if I had the dashboard layout here, I would be bored because I'd be like, I just used that layout over there. Why am I using it here? Okay, so that's another reason why I keep different layouts. And then when it comes to my schooling for Addison, I use only a monthly layout. Okay, so there's that. When it comes to finances, I use the financial planner, our financial wellness workbook, which is very different. Okay, then when it gets to fitness, I just like to use our food fitness calorie layout. It's not actually a layout, it's more like some fill paper inserts. Okay, then when it comes to my spiritual, I'm going to be implementing our vertical week on 2 layout. Okay, so this is how that looks. You see what I mean? So it really is a way to keep things fresh. So if you currently use a day to a page planner, try using a weekly planner. If you're currently using 2 pages per week spread, try using 1 week or 1 page like I showed you earlier in this planner here. So I kind of flipped through a little bit for you, but I tried lots of different layouts here. So again, that is the dashboard layout. Okay, and then I also tried, look, I tried the vertical week on 2, which is this. Okay, I decorated it and didn't write in it. For some reason, I did right there. And this brought me joy at that time. So that's kind of how that looks. And then we talked about using the week on 1 layout. We already talked about that. Everything all in 1 week. And then I used our subject style layout. Look at that. I was using this at this point. And then also, this was my last, but prior to the dashboard layout that I'm using, I used our new weekly all-in-one layout. You see that? And this has everything all in one as well. So you got some vertical down here. Then you've got a place for important, your habits, your tasks, anything you want to put here. You got a little calendar, your top 3. You can put your menu here, some notes there at the bottom. And it's just completely different from this. You know what I mean? So sometimes, again, that's just the switch up that you need to spark that creativity within you. So try different layouts. We have about 18 or 19 different layouts in our shop, so you can find something there to switch things up. So try to change out your planner spread. Okay. All right, so try to change up your planner layout if it's not working. So this is the last tip that I can give you guys if you're bored with your planner and you need something to, or a way to mix things up. And that is to stop using a planner. Now, I hate to say that, I really do, but maybe you don't need a planner at all. Maybe you just need a notepad where you jot down the things that you need to do each week, okay? Just keep it simple. Maybe this is too much for you right now. Maybe you need to work your way up to it. Maybe you just don't have that much going on where you need all of this. Maybe you just need a simple notebook, sis. Okay, so try that and see if that works out for you. And you never know, that just might be the switch up that you need. And also sometimes we need a break. And the notepad type situation, just jotting down random things, is the break that you may need. So try that, and it could be something that sticks with you. Or maybe you say, hey, I tried it, it wasn't for me, let me go back to this. This is all trial and error at this point, okay? And until we find something that sticks for us, to just keep that joy there with planning. And then again, you may think that you got the piece that you think you got, and then you don't. And then you scratch everything and start over. And that's okay too. All right. So consider that as well. Maybe you just need to stop for just a little bit, or maybe you just need to stop and grab a notebook, and that's what works for you. And again, that is a-okay. All right. So those are all of my ways that you can mix things up if your planner has just gotten a little bit boring and you need something different. Okay, so hopefully those things helped. That's the purpose of my channel here, to give you inspiration to be able to plan your best life. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below. Comment below and let me know which tip was your favorite. If you have any tips that you want to share with us so that we could all benefit, by all means, put them in the comments below. And I just thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a really good therapeutic video to just talk you through some different things. And I feel like I benefit too by hearing those things. You know, sometimes we all need refreshers. So I'm just glad that you guys are here. And I hope that you have been inspired in some way, which means you'll give me me a like on this video, heart it, okay? That's what I need in my life, okay? And I also want you to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And as always, I really do hope that you guys will come back and watch another video, in which case I'll see you then.